Alright guys, well, I know it's late. I know our host obviously opened up their home, so I'm going to keep this pretty brief. I know a lot have, class and work and family and things, so we don't want to be here too long. But let me give you a couple things you can take home tonight and really get right into gear, really push the gas. And I think the key is this business is a lot more fun, when you build it, fast. If you build it, slow, it can kind of really, it can kind of be a pain in the ass sometimes when you really, take your time. I think the key in coming into Vima is to have a sense of urgency. So let's talk, what does that mean? Really a sense of urgency, and I said the answer to really how I think, I've been able to reach the success is I really, developed a success story that I was confident and comfortable. I think, my dad always said that facts tell and stories sell. So you're going to, really start thinking tonight is, what's your story? What's your success story? What's that going to sound like? And what's that going to feel like when you talk to somebody new and you share your story? Or if you're at a small event or a home event like tonight, what's your story? What are you going to, share with people? So let's talk about really what that needs to sound and look like. What kind of message? And I think the idea here is, number one, really think about when you first start in the business, you're dependent. You're very dependent on someone else. You're going to have questions. You're going to have a lot of questions about the products and on the company, questions about how the business works. And so in the very beginning, you really want to, get plugged into everything that's going on, being calls, events, and trainings, because you're dependent, and you quickly want to get out of that stage into being independent. Independent where you're not maybe, asking for so much help, on conference calls. You're not needing someone there at your meeting. You're not, you're maybe going to Vima, Vima customer service for certain things that need to be fixed. You're not calling the person, in your upline. So you want to become independent where you're able to do the business, at your free will, where you're able to kind of go out and do as much as your energy and time you can, you're able to put into the business. And then lastly, you want to be reliable. I truly believe those are the three stages in Vima. You're going to find you're dependent, you're going to be independent, and then reliable. And I think that's the third stage you really want to get to as fast as possible. Because when you're reliable, that's when people will be coming to you, and they're going to want your help on a home event. They're going to be wanting your help on a call. And that's where I believe the more people that you can touch, the more people that you can help build a part-time and eventually full-time income, that's really going to determine how far your business grows. So that's kind of just, kicking off. Ideally, you want to help you get confident and comfortable sharing this story of Vima, sharing this YPR story. And then from that point, as I said earlier, the one who tells the story the most wins. So let's talk about what that looks like. I really believe in getting started, it comes down to these three things. And it's very simple, and we'll talk a little bit about what else is important as you're either getting someone started, in your business or you're getting started. Number one is the list. Okay, this is right away imperative. I hope you're sitting here right now with a sense of urgency. Your wheels are spinning on maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4 guys, girls in your life that if they were here tonight, they would be jacked. They'd be probably excited and fired up because they now heard really what this whole Vima company, what this whole movement's about. So I think, honestly, in the beginning, the goal is to make a list. If you create a list, or the newest person you're going to get started in Vima makes a list of 10 people, and you maybe see 3 out of 10 get started, you're not going to turn 3 people on a team into 50 or 100 orders that fast. So how do you build a team? I truly believe Vima is about building a team. Okay, you got to build a team and an environment, what we call a culture, where people can succeed. And we'll talk about what you need to do to have that environment. But building a team, kind of like in football, you have a goalie, forwards, you have obviously defenders. Okay, some people maybe are not fit to be the defender. Some people are good at getting people interested in the business. They're good at exposing. Some people are good at getting people to the event. Some people are then good at sharing the information, sharing the story, and then eventually some people are good at closing, meaning helping getting people started. You're going to find yourself probably, good at 1 or 2 of those, maybe all 3, but you want to practice, these 3 things. Getting people interested in the business, telling them the information, and then getting them started. So when you really think about this, guys, it all boils down to your list. My dad says it's really your most valuable asset. Why? I carry a list with me everywhere I go. And like today when I met that gal at the airport, when I met the guy sitting next to me at the airport, I start putting these people down and I continue adding to my list. Why? Because recruiting solves every problem. problem. Everybody will go through, this kind of wave in Vima, and you're going to have points where, things maybe just don't seem like it's, not going as fast as it should be. And as soon as you get out and you meet some new people, I meet new people playing basketball. I meet new people at the gym. You might be in class and on campus. You might be at the park. You meet people every day. And so as you start working on your list, or the newest person you get started, the most valuable and most important thing is to identify a list of people. Okay, now if your list is 100 deep and you maybe got 10 out of 100, you could turn 10 into 50 or 100 orders much faster than having just the 3 out of 10. So again, the answer is the bigger your list, the bigger your business will be. Now, I talk to people about making the list, like, oh yeah, my boy Johnny, my boy Mike, Lisa, Zach, Ryan, and they're like, it's like peeing in the wind. They have all these people in their mind they want to talk to, but if you don't sit down, pad and paper, Facebook, phone book, a quiet area, and you sit down and really work on this, you guys, if you honestly don't do that, you're going to struggle. So you want to have a notepad, maybe your own little book that you carry with you, and you just are jotting notes, but you have your list together on you at all times. So number 1, making a list. Number 2, if you practice and perfect the invite, this is the key to the vault. Some of us are not the best at sharing the story. You're new to the business. That's not your role. Your role is not to be the one up here maybe yet. That's going to take a little time for you to kind of get that down. So if you just are good at getting people, into an event or on a call or at some kind of a, small meeting, I can promise you if you're good at it, the invite, it's gonna work. You're going to succeed in this business. Now, again, the invite, let me give you a quick rundown on how that should look. I think that the invite should almost be the same through everybody that's here tonight. And it's a 3-step invite. Number 1, in clearing their schedule. Number 2, you're excited about something. And number 3, I want to show you what we have. I want to show you what we're doing. Or I want to introduce you to. Okay, so here's the secret in your invite. So, and I'm going to kind of tie all this together in a second. In your invite, say you're going to invite someone tomorrow to the event. Okay, there's events going on tomorrow. There's events the next day. There's calls going on this week. There's events almost every day in London and around these areas and other parts and other countries. So the idea, and you can even invite people this same way, if you're inviting them to get on Skype or on a Uvu or on a Google Hangout, and you're going to obviously find yourself sharing this information over, the phone or over a Skype call. So number 1, you've got to make it a statement, not a question. When people come into the room and you're talking about Vima, the person who has more assurance, the person who brings more confidence to the meeting will always win. It's just the way that it is. So my encouragement is don't ask your friends if they want to hear about a business. Don't ask your friends if they want to hear about an opportunity. Don't ask them if they want to try a product. You should assume they already do. So my point in saying that is make it a statement, not a question. Let me give you an example. Lawrence, what's good? What are you doing tonight at 6? I'm excited about a business I'm starting in London. Bro, it's going to be huge. Be at my house for 30 minutes. I want to show you what I'm doing. Okay, I didn't say Vima. I didn't say Verve. I didn't say none of that. I didn't go into detail. I don't want him to then go and have to, go and do all that research. I want him to get over to the house, sit down where there's no distractions, hear what I'm excited about, why I'm doing the business, try the product, watch the video, and really get a good, firm, a firm opinion or a firm, basically you're able to form your own opinion once they're able to, really understand the business. So number 1 in the invite is, clearing their calendar. I hear people, they're like, hey, Johnny, what's up, man? How's your mom? And it's like they ask 5-10 things, and that's awkward because they're like, well, I wanted to see or I wanted to ask you. And again, it should just be, it's like 10 seconds. Yo, Lawrence, Joey, what's up, bro? What are you doing tomorrow for lunch? Hey, I'm working on a project that's going to be huge, not only in the UK, but all around Europe. And I'm telling you, bro, this could change your life. We need to sit down for 30 minutes. Okay? It could be, hey, Johnny, what's good, bro? I'm taking a product, I'm basically would go like this. Johnny, what's good? What are you doing tomorrow at lunch? We have to meet for a few minutes. I'm taking a product. I love how I feel. This stuff is amazing. You've got to try this. And so you either have a list of people that I feel, need the product, maybe for health reasons, and that might be more of those parents. It might be a category of people that can lose weight, get in shape. It might be people that need more energy. So maybe a product list, okay? Then you have a list of people that you feel would really, maybe excel and do something with the business. And I think no matter what you do in the invite, the secret to the invite is identify the need. I know a lot of young people, if you invite by clearing their schedule, excited about a project I'm working on, and I want to show you how to get out of your job part-time, your part-time job in the next 30 to 60 days. If you said that to me, I would be sitting down with you tomorrow to hear about it. So you find the need, and I know a lot of young people would love to be able to get out of working part-time, maybe be able to get into a new car, and potentially, go into something else, even like this full-time. So number one, in getting started, is to get you a success story. And I think, honestly, when you lay out a list, and you learn the invite, and you get into action, and you have a sense of urgency, our goal is to get you paid and promoted. What does that mean? Helping you be a three-way call, home meeting, or a Skype call, to get a couple of people on the products, get a few people on board with the business, and from that point, get you your first check. I can guarantee you once you get your first check, it's going to give you credibility. People are going to obviously take that a lot more serious when they see you're making moves. So number one, it's clearing the schedule. You're excited about either the need is the product or it's the opportunity, and I want to show you what we're doing. And you might want to use leverage. I know a lot of people maybe invited someone to come and have a chance to obviously see me because I'm here tonight only for one night, and that's just leverage. That's a smart way. Why? Because some of my friends did not get on board with the business till they saw that I was successful. I don't know why my friends or why people are like that, but the truth is that's just how people are. So I think you want to go around the back door here and use what we call third-party credibility, or the credibility triangle. And then number three, it's telling the story. And you guys, this story is so simple. It's like writing a paper. It's an introduction, it's the body, and conclusion. You heard the introduction tonight. Where do you go? Dwayne kicked it off? Yeah. Great introduction tonight. Give it up for him on that introduction. Frankly, you don't have to say everything. You're never going to say the right thing to the wrong person. You know that saying, right? You just got to be excited. You just got to, smile and get up there and get out of your head. Stop worrying about what people are going to think. Get out of your head and into your heart. And you could tell tonight when he did that, he was excited and it was genuine. So you maybe tell kind of who you are, where you're from, your background, kind of before Vima. So kind of people know where you are in your life and kind of why we're here today talking. Who introduced you to this? And then why. And if you nail the why at a three-way call, a small event, or a Skype call, that sets the tone. Okay? So again, we're talking about getting started, quick basic stuff, and helping you become a success story, confident and comfortable. The one who does this the most will win. You need to make the list. The bigger your list, the bigger your group. You got to learn the approach. If you invite the right way, they're down to hear about it. If not, they brush you off, and you need to share the story, tell the story. And I think that really is story, product, concept. And you heard it tonight. Obviously the introduction, and then I think what we need to do, whether it's one-on-one or home event, you have them watch the video. The video gives a lot of, background. It kind of gives some spice to really what's happening with this, young movement and what we're seeing. And then lastly, you want to finish it with two things in the body. Number one, why? What is Vima and why Vima? And if you go on Vima.com and you just do some basics, you heard Lawrence, you heard him kind of basically go through what is Vima, the product, and you'll get that by being on a few calls weekly and going to a few events. Eventually, you'll be able to say my story. You'll be able to say other people's because you're going to hear it enough. And again, practice makes perfect. So number one, that's why it's so important to be plugged into what we're doing as a team. Again, this is a team business, okay? And I think number one, in the introduction, number two, the body. And that's what is Vima and why. And that's just from your point of view, why the product. You heard, a lot of, different people tonight here obviously have different reasons for being here. But many people would obviously say, hands down, why the product. And that's because of what, quality and value this product brings. And then I think lastly is why the business. And for what we talk about, the job market, uni loans, and working minimum wage, the thesis of your meeting, the main point is to start your own business. Starting your own business where you can begin to start to get, on the right track and begin to earn, whatever kind of monies you'd like to earn. And then lastly is the conclusion. Intro, body, conclusion. This is exactly how I format my presentation and meetings. After I have my list, I invite people. Trust me, I've had more people not come to events than everybody combined. I've had more people quit than everybody combined. So I truly can tell you that there's no way it works for everybody else and not for you. This is not by luck, it's by design. And you have to understand it's a learning curve, and there's basic skills that you just got to get down, which are the invite and the presenting. It's either you're good at getting people to the event, you're good at sharing some information, or you're good at getting somebody started. And here's the end. You go over in the conclusion of your meeting or in your story, you're going to go over basic numbers, as we talked about tonight. The sheet's a great a sheet to have, maybe in your notebook or something that you carry with you. Just goes some show basic numbers of what we need to accomplish. And you need to leverage a success story. I encourage you to find an upline gold or upline diamond that you're going to take the focus off of you. Now you've heard my story, what I'm excited about. You know why Vima. You know why the business. And next up, I want you to hear my boy Jonathan. When you hear his story, dude, it will blow your mind. And so what I think you need to let that happen from there is you're going to go over basic numbers, and to tie it up with a bow is somebody else's story. Because again, if you don't have a story, you use someone else's. I think all you need to do is build this business to 500 pounds a month, and it's all downhill. When you get to gold, and then even a little bit more to diamond, bro, I'm telling you, this is the easiest, simple, and if not legal way I've seen for young people to make money. So the truth is, tonight, it's a very simple business, you guys. These are very, very simple things. And here's the honest truth, you guys. It's functionally easy to come to an event, to hop on a conference call, to get on a webinar, to do these things that we do, but it's emotionally draining. Okay? People tell you they're going to be there, they don't show. People tell you you're going to do this, they don't get started. People tell you they're going to do that, and they're bullshitting. And the truth is, at the end of the day, you guys, everybody's going to go through that. You're going to go through a lot of different things along the way. Again, the problem that people have is they just throw in the towel. They give up too early. They don't allow the business to grow. And again, this is not short, quick money. It's long-term, stable money. So my encouragement tonight, number one, in getting you started, or any new person, is number one, to sit down with them and identify, number one, their why. If you don't really have a why in why you're going to do Vima, it's going to be tough, because through the rough times, the why is going to pull you through, those rough times. I encourage you, number one, to identify why. Maybe go home and get a vision board, a little poster board, a couple magazines, cut out 5-10 things, glue, and slap it on there, put it over your sink, I had a vision board of Kobe and Jordan, all the players growing up, because I wanted to be like that growing up. I envisioned myself like that, and I'm sure that's why I had a pretty successful high school basketball career. But the truth is, when you understand, creating that picture, if you tonight had a white canvas and a paintbrush and you were Picasso, how good can you paint this picture of Vima for what this can do for someone else? How good can you paint that? People don't care about, they don't really care, much other than why you're doing it and what's in it for them. And so when you paint the picture well, you got to paint the picture of, one, what the product can do for their health, and number two, 500 pounds a month. Just keep it there. Yeah, 6 figures, 7 figures, is that happening? Definitely. Can it happen for you? Definitely. But let's keep it realistic, guys. While kids are in school, part-time, while you're working part-time, you can be a part of this team and begin to get yourself financial success. And so here's the truth. Number one, and when you meet with somebody new or you're just getting started, identifying your why. Okay, maybe that's retire your dad, retire your mom. One of my whys was to do mission trips. I've been funding mission trips, and we'll do this as a team. And I know some of you have seen the YPR Cares. We basically, when you get to gold, we're going to ship you to Guatemala, and we go build homes. Go on YPR Guatemala on YouTube. It's a couple of videos. You'll see a lot of young people, and we've been going down there. We've built now, I think, 13 homes in a village called Cuesta Chiquita, and we have funded everything. And so when you understand the ability, to do those types of things, you need to identify why you're here tonight. Maybe you want to travel, but you want to study abroad. There's a lot of different reasons, okay? So number one, identify your why. And when you sit down with someone new, say, bro, let me tell you my why real quick. Let's sit down 5 minutes, bro. I'll buy you a sandwich. Let me tell you why I'm doing this. What's it mean to you, man? What would you want out of this? Okay, and then I think you kind of establish that foundation, and you give people short goals. My encouragement tonight is, if you're not yet bronze, let's get you to bronze. Okay, we're going to start We're starting basically a new week tomorrow. Okay, so we have a new week starting tomorrow. So if you're not yet bronze, let's make a commitment tonight with a strategy and a plan and a commitment and a few small changes that you're going to go bronze between now and next Thursday. At the bare minimum, let's at least get you to do that. Okay, and all that is basically 180 in points. 360, if you look on the sheet, it's a couple people on the product here and a couple over here, and you hit the first rank. And I can tell you the first best feeling I ever had was the feeling of accomplishment and somebody recognizing you for that accomplishment. People don't get that in their jobs. They go to work, they get beaten up, battered down, they get yelled at, go see Horrible Bosses, the movie. It's definitely like that. So the truth is number one, identifying the dream. Okay, number two, you got to establish a positive mental attitude. You guys, you're going to go through hell. You got to fight your way through hell. And that's what you have to do sometimes in life to get out and obviously, see, the end, result. And so my point is you got to have a positive mental attitude we call rhino skin, where you're bulletproof. You heard some credibility. And again, being and hearing more of this information along the way is going to really help you formulating your story. And we talked about getting your list together and then leading with the product or leading with the opportunity. You need to have goals. Maybe bronze in the next week. Maybe get a frenzy bonus. Get your 6 customers. Do those couple things right there by yourself or for yourself and with your team and then with any new person left or right, and watch your business begin to duplicate. And lastly is as you invite the right way, the one who tells the story the most wins. If you want to be a part-timer, find yourself putting 5 to 10 hours a week in. What does that mean? You may be going to 2 or 3 events like this. You may be doing a couple calls like this. Maybe you're getting into a webinar once a week. You're doing about part-time effort, 5 to 10 hours a week. If you want to get to become more professional, you want to become a pretty established person in this business, put 10 to 20 hours in a week. Put 10 to 20 hours in a week. Guys, a part-time thing legally is 20 hours per week. Okay, so if I go home and if you did a meeting a day, that's 7 hours. Just give yourself an hour for the meeting. I don't even think it should be that long. Story, product, concept should be 30 minutes. We went overtime tonight. Obviously, this was a special night. But the thing is that as I was able to shorten the meeting up and the content, I could do 2 or 3 in a day. And so the thing is as you start to share your story, if you're doing it full time or you want to go full time fast, find yourself going to events like tonight. 1, if not 2, sometimes 3 a day. Okay, and I know it's a push, but again, if you don't push yourself, you guys, you won't obviously see what the business is really capable of giving you. So 1, obviously, part-time, 5 to 10 hours a week, and that's maybe going to 1, 2, or 3 events a week, and expect that you're going to probably be on the top part of that sheet, okay, over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Now, if you want to get to the middle or the bottom of the sheet in the next 3, 6, 9 months from now, you've got to commit to daily activity. That's one person tomorrow that you commit to give someone a verve, give them a body shake, and then just get away from them and get their info or name and follow through, follow up. I think from that point, you guys, really the goal is to help you develop a team. I've been able to build teams and where I have a culture, number 1, of home events. If you're new, the goal is for you to lock up 2 times that you're going to get with us, and we're going to help you have your first 2 events like tonight. I guarantee you, if everybody had the sense of urgency like we're talking about, everybody in this room could have 3 or 4 people over tomorrow night. Imagine if everybody had 3 or 4 people over tomorrow night and I was videoing into your meeting. Okay? We're going to start to do things like that. Okay, where you can host your own event, invite 4, 5, 6 people over. Maybe you have your running partner, someone on your team with you, and you find yourself doing these 1 or 2 times a day, and in between you're doing a conference call, where here's the secret, and at the end of the night, like now, you want to be on your computer sitting down, and you want to start building your team within your network and other places and other areas. And I can tell you guys what, 1 person, and the next thing you know, you have a team in Belgium, a team in Norway, Finland, Sweden. It's unbelievable to see how fast this will take off. And that's what's the power, of social media. So that's my point tonight in getting started, you guys. The list, the invite, sharing the story. You got to think about your dreams, why you're doing the business, having the right attitude. Working a list from that, leading with the product, leading with the business. You need to set goals. You should be shooting to hit gold, about 50 orders in your business between now and not the let's see, end of September, October, end of November. You're going to want to, be at that gold level by then. You're going to qualify for the trip. We're all going to go to Poland, and you're going to get a chance to really get, your eyes open to the big picture of Vima. Lastly, you need to find, yourself, personal development, what we call an upline or mentor. I would encourage you, if you haven't, go get those books. 1, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. 2, Think and Grow Rich. And then number 1, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Number 2, Business of the 21st Century, Robert Kiyosaki. Number 3, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Those 3 books, if you have not read, I would try to read it and read them again. And that's going to really start to give you, a little bit of the mindset of what the successful people in this company and this industry have obviously been able to develop. And then from that point, you need to have constant communication with upline. You need to be around and in talking and involved with the upline, with the team. And that's where the environment's so critical. If there's weekly events going on and weekly calls, and you're a part of that, the home events, the small meetings and the calls, what we do as a team should really, number 1, create a culture of small meetings going on. I told a group of about 14 young people this morning in Holland, I said, you 14 tonight, or today, should find yourself doing 2 events. It was 14 leaders I sat and I was training with this morning in Amsterdam. Okay, and they all are, a little bit, down the road. They've been in the business 2, 3, 4, maybe more months. I said, if you guys are not doing 1 to 2 events per day with somebody new on your left or right, or you're hosting your own event with new people coming, you're not building the business. And so that's the truth. And again, if you had 10 people make a list of 100, that's 1,000 people that you're going to work through the line. And so the idea here is that if you can think about it, if you had 14 people commit to doing 2 events a day, as a team, you guys should count how many small events are going on simultaneously in one night. These big events are great, but it will not allow duplication. Your team will not grow. You'll hit a ceiling. Your leadership will hit a ceiling if you do not get the newest people on your feet. If you have not spoken a home event, my challenge for you tonight is before the end of the weekend, get on your feet and speak at a meeting. I don't care if you want to do the introduction. I don't care if you want to do what is Vima and why. And I don't care if you want to do the business segment or you want to close out the meeting going over the numbers and then obviously talking, about what the success and stuff that Vima is providing. But that's what I encourage you to do is if you have not done that, you have to. It's awkward, it's weird the first time, don't worry, everybody gets that feeling, but once you do, you're going to feel really good, and I think you're going to start to see how this business can really grow. You guys, the sum of success in Vima is a lot of 1%. 1%, I gave some of the product. 1%, I did a home event. 1%, I did a Skype call. 1%, all that is the sum of where you're going to see big success in this business. And lastly is you got to get started. You have to have a sense of urgency. You guys, there are other young people in Europe, in the UK, that are not here tonight, that are not even a part of this team or these teams, that are making it happen. So there's not anymore this, I wonder if Vima's going to be big in Europe. It is now happening, and it is now a race to the finish. My challenge and my goal being here tonight is that we make this team, we make our team here tonight, the team, the premier UK team, where everybody's going to know, obviously, kind of who and what we are. And I can promise you guys, the last thing I want to do is go to convention next year in Munich and watch all these other people that are not a part of this team get recognized, as successful, success stories in this company. So you guys, this is basic stuff. We'll go over some more advanced training on handling objections, closing. We'll talk about, different leadership topics, things like that. But if you focus on the list, inviting and getting into action, tell the story. The one who tells the story the most wins. Focus building your business here. Bronze, silver, gold. Bronze, silver, gold. You should be a factory of just popping out. Man, I helped a guy hit bronze this week. This guy hit silver. Oh, my boy's going gold. You should have a factory of helping people go bronze, silver, gold. That should be where you measure your business. The one who creates the most success stories wins. The one who has the most bronze, silvers, and golds will win. So you guys, these are some basic things. Hopefully you took some positive out of this. I can encourage you guys, plug in. Do not build this business alone. You got to get plugged into the team. You guys, I'm going to be back here in literally 60 or so days. And the worst thing is coming back, again, in 60 days to an event where this is going to be double the size. We'll probably have to go to a big-ass hotel because obviously this team is on fire. And the worst feeling is that you could have gone tomorrow, this week, and next week. You could have or should have or would have. And I think tonight, make the decision. You now have the knowledge, okay? Now many of you guys need to know there's nothing different. You are as good at the business as I am. Okay, you now have the knowledge with some books to get into for personal development. You now have the knowledge of making a decision and making that turning point in your life. You now know that the belief level of what this company can do for you and your family and your friends. It's up to you to now step up and become a leader. And really, again, find yourself personally getting new people started and then helping your team get people started. Personally getting that new person trained up and then do group trainings. And again, I can promise you guys, this company is going to do amazing things. We can really make a huge difference in London by building this business. And if you treat it like a hobby, it will pay you like a hobby. You treat it like $1 million business, you will make millions. So you guys, I'm excited. I know it's late, our host and opening the house. Let's make sure to all clean up and try to straighten up as respect people for allowing us to be here tonight. Lawrence, I'm proud of you, man. Keep leading the charge. The other leaders here, Jonathan, and some of the other guys I know that are here tonight, we're all going to huddle up here for a little bit. And you guys, I cannot wait to get back here in 60 days. Let's take this team to the moon.